Hello, this is Grant. Welcome back to another episode of Dead Rising 2 Master Run, episode 16. So I'm excited to get back into this. I haven't actually done a commentary of this for a while. I have a graduation coming up, and I'm finally done with all my finals, and I have a little bit of time in between the actual ceremony and getting done, so I wanted to get nice in the head, so I recorded the first 15, and I'm picking up again now, and hopefully all this should be a little bit more regular. So I'm really excited to get in these videos. I just recently started a run of Dead Rising 1 where I'm trying to beat the entire game without a single zombie kill, and it is incredibly tough. So, basically I just had to kill some time. We're going to do first the par for the course scoop, which is with Luz, I think is how you pronounce it, which I think is an awesome name. It's a really cool name. She has 2 scoops, and she's a golfer in sports trance, and then later on she just asked you to bring her a new golf club, which if you know that's what she's going to ask, it's super easy to grab one on the way back. She gives you some money, some good PPE. Nice and easy scoop. Plus, anything in Paradise, in Royal Flush Plaza, I'm still in Dead Rising 1, anything here makes it really easy to do, so it's no complaints. It would be better if I had a queen in my inventory, because you will often run into situations like this where these survivors are being attacked by these swarms, and if you have a queen and just pop one down in the middle, it takes seconds to complete. A little bit of a side note is you'll notice there's this little golfing mini game over here behind me right now. You can get 10,000 if you get the top prize on that, and that's pretty easy to do consistently. So if you want a simple way to make money without the gambling books, I'd recommend doing that. You just have to basically, I guess I don't know how to describe it. Essentially you go in and there's a bar that like goes up to the top and then goes back down to 0, and you want to get it at a very specific range that it indicates. If you do that, you get a hole in the one. And if you get a hole in one 3 times in a row, you get the max grand prize of $10,000, and you can repeat it as much as you want. So if you ever have time to kill and you want to make some more money, give that a shot. Overall, I think you have better rates if you get all 3 gambling books and go play some of the video poker games in Slot Ranch Casino and Yucatan, I think. That is better, but for just like a simple like stop and get a little bit of cash because you want to waste an hour, that is not bad. Not that bad. There's some better ones I think too, like the cash grab, where it's like you're in a little box and there's a bunch of like $1, $5, and $10 bills blowing around. If you are really good at mashing buttons, that's a pretty good game, but I am not that good. Maybe if I worked on it a little bit more or found a good way. I think I actually do it in one of the videos. I try to see it, because there's a lot of these things I never actually like really looked into, like the riding the bull mini game or the ball mini game outside, which might actually be good sources of PP or money, but I just never really took the time to get good at them. Many of these, if you are good, just hop in, do them. They're kind of fun, but it's all basically reaction based to like quick time events. So like as stuff comes up on the screen, quickly hit it before you lose your time limit. It's pretty straightforward, but unless you kind of know the gist of the game, it's pretty hard to do on the spot. So I'm just going to go take Luz back. We're killing some time before the source, which is the duel with the 2 twin sisters. I don't fully understand how that scoop works, because if you read the scoop like right now, it says, oh, I have time to kill before it actually starts. But as you get closer, it acts like you could have gone any time. So you might be able to go like right now. But I just play it safe because there's other stuff I can do till then. Plus that's a pretty hard fight, so any extra levels I can get, or painkillers I can make, or weapons I can build before that fight will really help. If you can't do that, there's a book that's about drinking, where you will not throw up from drinking alcohol. And there's a ton of alcohol in there, so if you don't bring your own food, that's a great secondary. Here I'm giving her Katie, my daughter, the blow-up ball, beach ball, I'm not sure what it's called. But it's one of the last few toys I have to give her for some more PP. I think at this point the only thing left is the strange painting, which I completely mess up. Just saying that right now. It's really dumb, I can't believe. In retrospect, like watching myself mess it up, it's disgraceful. But technically it's not a requirement of the run, but you can feel free to shame me in the comments on that episode. So we'll see, let's go out here and see if we can get some scoops. What I like about the kind of layout here is you only have to go like right here to get calls, whereas in Dead Rising 1 you had to go all the way out to the warehouse to get calls for Otis, which is a little annoying. It would be cool if, like, say, if you were in the safe house, if you could talk to Otis, or I guess you could talk to Susan, I think her name is. the cure leader, and then if they had a scoop, then she would tell you it. You know that you didn't have to go all the way out and come back in sometimes. So here I'm just gonna kind of prep. I usually make one of these every time I'm there, just because it's a great mobbing weapon to deal with basic zombies. I'm sure I go on and on about that all throughout the series. There's not a lot of other great things you can make there. I like to make the defiler. I usually try to always grab a fire axe on the way out, and then I can make one with the sledgehammer as well. If you have a gun, the IED is a pretty good weapon to make, but it can be a pain to take it where you actually can use it. But if you want to take the time, usually it's pretty good to bring out here and just throw it at the Americana Casino door crowd, I guess you'd call it. It's not a great source of PP because of how slow it is, but it's pretty fun to use and does make clearing areas really simple. Yeah, it looks like I'm just killing time for some PP. Overall, the PP you get from combo weapons isn't huge. Like, you'll notice like it's barely making a dent, even if I do like the 200 PP. But over the course of the game, it does add up. It's substantial, I'd say. Just because it's like 50 PP, maybe probably kill like a couple hundred zombies this way, or with other weapons, depending on what kind of weapons you like. It can be pretty big. Like if you get the Blambo, which is a bow and arrow with a stick of dynamite on the end, that's a pretty substantial amount of PP, assuming you're firing into zombie crowds. So it is something. Unfortunately, the only books for increasing that only increase it in like 10% increments. So it's really just not worth the books in my mind. Because maybe if you held it the entire way, it'd be helpful. But really, if you want to level up, just keep doing escort missions. It's not that hard. And if it's, honestly, if it is that hard, you can just keep restarting the game. Like, that might be a solution. Like, because sometimes it might be just a pain to wait. So you could just keep playing the first day or something. Like, at this point, like, I could easily say, get Snowflake. Pretty easier, that strategy, every single time. Go get the pharmacist, and then just keep kind of doing that loop and the African-American couple right here. But yeah, honestly, I think at this point I was just kind of messing around because I want to have some kind of fun. Like, it does suck like when you're always on a mission, that when you can just kind of mess around. Because there's so many things that in the moment I'm like, you know what, I want to do this. You know, I wonder what happens if I throw this at a zombie and whatnot. But alright, we got Stuart's scheme, which is another one. It's like Kindle's betrayal, where he's going to go cause an uproar if you don't go talk him down. Luckily, you have a argument that, well, you were stealing for the casino too, so you're not really not wanting to talk. So it's pretty simple. I think you just get some PP for it. I don't know if it actually starts a mutiny. Like in the first game, if you didn't talk to Kindle, he would actively remove survivors from your group, and you would not get credit for them at the end of the game. But you don't need anything particular to talk him down. You just need to come back and chat at any point. One thing I don't quite get, it is a little weird, is you don't get a call until then, but if you look, the timer is already partially gone. So I might have been able to come back here sooner. But it's one of those things I couldn't just sit in the safe room until he popped in. The game's pretty good about if there's someone you need to talk to, they will either be right here or they will be in the cafeteria. So whenever you run by, take a look in the cafeteria that there's not someone there. Particularly Luz will be there, Charlie, or I'm not sure who it is, Leonard? The guy who you save when you get Snowflake the Tiger. He's there to give you his combination to the vaults. Oh, I guess it was a mutiny, yeah. 10,000 PP is not too bad, though, for just showing up. Here, I think I'm just kind of waiting out the time. There's a lot. I have a nice little chart. You can find it on the Dead Rising wiki, where they'll show all the scoops, what time they occur, and things like that. The one for Dead Rising 2 is a little bit messed up, I found, whereas the Dead Rising 1 is very nice and exact. So a lot of this I'm like, oh, I had to actually go test before I recorded, just to make sure things were appearing when I thought they were, and that I wasn't screwing myself over. Particularly there was I got really concerned, what's her name? The chick with the really huge hair that is like a washed up star. For some reason the wiki kept saying her thing occurred on day 2, and I assumed it was an unlisted scoop, and I was freaking out. And then it turns out no, it was just like one mistake. That's a pretty big psychopath, because you can save her, plus like, I think 3 survivors. And honestly, it's kind of one of the cooler little missions in the game. So honestly, if it keeps growing, I would love to do more games like this. And if it was popular enough, I could take more time into it. Like a big problem is I would love to go and do like a full run, like completely make sure everything works before actually recording. But realistically, play through Dead Rising 2-3 times to do that's a lot of time. Especially considering like when with doing post commentary, I can have better commentary and I can be more astute because I can watch these videos. But that does mean I have to rewatch the entire thing 2 or 3 times. Like once to play it, once to edit it, once to commentate it. So that can be a little bit brutal. So a little insight into my life. I always try to grab queens whenever I can. If I don't need them though, I just like toss them like right here. It's a cool effect. Getting those multi-zombie kills. Man, this shortcut makes things so much easier. It's a huge pain to get to the Palisades Plaza before this shortcut's open. Like, you can deal with it in the first game, but this one, it just seems like it is a burden in my mind to get over there. Like, you have to go all the way down the Silver Strip, and they don't have any other kind of shortcuts. Like, I wish they had some mini shortcuts around, like, not this. I almost want to call them, like, Clue-esque shortcuts, like the board game, where you just go from one corner to the other. It'd be nice if they just had, like, little unlockable stuff where, oh, you can maybe get through this one little door you unlock, and it'll take you a faster route to an adjoining area, like from, let's say, Royal Flush to one of the casinos. Instead of going all the way around or to the Strip, you can go take a side door, pop right out a little bit faster. That'd be nice. Anything to shorten the run, because some of the scoops, it really is just like getting places in time. That's usually the hard part. Like, I'm surprised they don't have like Chuck only shortcuts just to help you get around, but you still have to go like the longer way for your survivors, either because they can't do it or it's just not feasible. Things like that. Particularly skill-based shortcuts would be cool. Like, maybe you have to dip down to the underground and it's really packed with zombies, but offers you a really great route. Something like that would be nice. Basically, I wish Dead Rising had more active choices. Like, one thing, I'm a big fan of like COD Zombies. I don't actually own any of the games, but one thing I just really loved, like, I've always been a fan of like those in general. Like, I love horror. Those kind of like stand and hold your ground type things. I always loved how no matter how many times you play it, every single time it's like, should we do A or B? And there's always so many different ways you can kind of swing that argument. And it'd be cool if Dead Rising was like that, where, okay, I have a bunch of different options, and in the moment I have to decide what the best one is, versus just, this is how you do it. This is the best way, period. So that's what I would like to see personally. And fortunately, I was not able to play Dead Rising 3. I don't have an Xbox One, but with school, I was hoping to use my roommates and get that under my belt, but sadly, it didn't work out. Taking a heavy course load just really gets in the way of the important things like playing video games for other people. So one day maybe I'll borrow a Xbox One and play it. I've heard some interesting things. Like, apparently it's pretty easy and just not that difficult. But I've also heard really good things about the writing for like the survivors and the psychopaths is still like pretty top notch. So, all right. So here we're just killing time. Honestly, it always seems to be like on day two-ish. That's usually when they have you kill time. And that just depends on how long it takes you to do scoops. Mainly, particularly, I think the game tries to give you a lot of time to complete the main scoops. So, especially in 1, there's plenty of cushion around it. Just because I think they want you to be able to beat this on the first try. Maybe not required, but pretty straightforward. Is there blood on that shirt? It's weird. So here, yeah. Not much to say. I really am a big fan of Chuck's basic outfit. Like, you'll notice that's what I ended up deciding to do for this run. Mainly because originally I wanted to do like a cool outfit like I did for the first game. But since there's actually scoops that require you to change your outfit, that's really just like not feasible to take it off, put it back on. I wish you could store stuff in it in the safe room. Like, I'm really surprised they don't have anything like that. Like, I guess they have a couple like pure unlocks that appear, but it'd be nice if, I talked before, like if you could unlock certain weapons, you could always grab one on your way out, or just like, hey, I always use this one outfit, let me just store this one outfit in the safe room. Or particularly like maybe tie it to that achievement for trying on every single outfit so that you could either save one or save a couple. That'd be nice. Anything that lets you kind of just like play the game with the way you wanted to. Like I would, especially in 1 I talked about like there's a lot of cool weapons I like, but it's just not feasible to go get them every time or to get them en masse. Like I would say like I like the stun gun. It's really fun to use during psychopath fights, but it's not always easy to find one. Like I think on the first day in cardboard boxes you can find them all over the warehouse, but other days you can only ever find cabbages instead. So, and then it becomes incredibly hard to find a stun gun. Well, if you wanted to do like a run all around that, kind of SOL. In this game, I'm not really sure. They actually do give you, I think, a good selection right outside the safe house. That I do enjoy, particularly because you can get the spike bat, you can get the defiler really easily. You can actually get the extinguisher, which is a saw blade and a vacuum cleaner. It's not particularly that good, but it's a really cool weapon, and you can technically build it in the safe house because I believe there's saw blades in the safe house, and yeah, I have just a vacuum. Saw blades might be in the area just outside where you get your first maintenance closet. I'm not sure, I haven't done it for a while. But it's really not worth the time, but if you like it, there's actually a lot of cool weapons you can get from the safe house. And if you know you want them, it's not too hard to pick them all up. Alright, here we got mail order Zombrex, which is a nice easy scoop. I talked before that the game makes it pretty simple to get Zombrex for your daughter, like barring if you're doing any other cases like saving this one survivor, you have to feed Zombrex twice. Or I think there's another survivor who needs it before he'll come with you. Can't recall, but barring anything like that, if you were just doing like main missions and mail order Zombrex, it's pretty easy to get all the stuff you need without ever having to go buy one at the pawn shop. Honestly, I felt the pawn shop is less. They make it sound like, oh well, if you can't find one at the last minute, you can always go, like, pay a huge price and get some. Realistically, it's more if you have a lot of money, you can just not bother with going out and doing those missions because you can just pay out at any of the pawn shops. It's more of a convenience thing than it is like a last minute safeguard. Which, unfortunate. Alright, here, so I'm just gonna get set up for this fight now, I believe. It is a pretty difficult fight, so I'm gonna go make some painkillers. There's also some steak here, because this is where you fight Snowflake. That's also very good. If you don't have the healing book, I really recommend it, because, again, you can't drink more than 3 alcohol drinks. So, if you have the healing book that doubles it right over here at the end of this counter, that makes them go a lot farther. Definitely make painkillers. Really, this game's not that hard, but if you're having trouble, just make as many as you can. Like, you can make them from a beer, you can make them from vodka, I believe. And honestly, those are all over the place in this game. And it's just such a crazy drink. It's like a full heal, and then you take half damage for like a minute. It's honestly, like, if you're having any trouble with the boss fight, just use that, and it's almost always a 180 degree. You just start devastating them. Because you can just flat out damage them usually. It's not that great for a fight like Antoine, maybe, where you want to focus more on DPS and, like, don't really get hit that much. But, you know, it's whatever works for you, personally. Alright. We're going to wrap up here soon, I think, once we actually head into the club. I hated the fact that this little tunnel is so packed, because at this point I'm, like, really well prepped for the fight, but you kind of have to use up one of your items to get through here. That's kind of annoying to me, personally. But not terrible. You can kind of roll, but it's very clunky. You get, like, stuck on stuff. And then there's a shotgun back behind this counter. Plus those ATMs, if you need some money. A queen, woo. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, check out one of the links below. Till next time, don't take your zombie safety for granted.